Hello, this is Lori Burress with the Catch a Pocket Podcast. And tonight, Rae Leffel is my guest on episode 30. Kelly is the owner, operator, chef of Tanya's Soup Kitchen. I know you'll enjoy our conversation together, and I hope you guys are being safe out there. And it looks like we're going to have Joe Biden as our president, and I'm glad. So there. And, we have a new web page, and that is at catchapocket.com. And you can get links to our YouTube page where I'm posting our episodes on YouTube. And subscribe to that. I don't think I have very many subscribers. I would love some subscribers. And on the new website, you can also email me, correspond with me. I don't know. I try to answer any messages I get. I had someone tell me I crosstalk too much, and I'm working on that, people. Working on it. So it's on my list. Don't crosstalk. And so with that, I bring you episode 30, Rae Leffel. Enjoy it.
Okay.
With Rae Leffel.
Yep, that's me.
And she is the owner and chef and operator and extraordinaire of Tanya's Soup Kitchen in the heart of downtown Wichita. Well, not the heart, but just the side heart, the artery of downtown Wichita. And what's it called? What's that area?
Hyde neighborhood.
Hyde neighborhood.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So you've got your Gnome and your CSBs and your breweries and your pizza.
Piatto's Pizza, yeah.
Oh, man, yeah.
Yeah, we're just kind of up and coming little neighborhood.
Yeah.
So.
By East High, and you've got the coffee shops and all the good stuff. So, anyway.
Tattoo shop.
Oh, yeah, lots of tattoo shops.
And my husband's tattoo shop.
Good dye bars. Yeah, great tattoo shops all over in that area. So I had a tattoo from your husband. And it's great. I love it.
Yeah.
I got the third eye, and it's with my my sisters all have it. My sister and her kids have it.
Yeah.
And now I have it. So I'm part of the girl tribe.
Nice. Yeah.
Yeah, I feel it.
He's a good one.
So hot as love.
Yep, that's right.
And I have the sticker on my car.
I saw that when I was walking up. I was like, dang, look at her supporting. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a cool sticker too. And yeah, what are you gonna do? Black and white stickers always get me. I don't know why.
He's got an eye for the design. So, yeah. And I'm really proud of him. So.
Yeah, he does stuff for you guys too.
Oh, yeah, he does. Poor guy. I'm like, hey, babe, you can do this menu. Hey, babe, do you want to design this for me? I need, So he's done my website. Yeah.
So that's good. And it looks really good. Everything's really classy.
Yeah.
I think.
And he pays attention to the people that he's working with. It's not just about his style. Right. He's now understanding, that was something that I was told. It's like, baby, just because they want a Pinterest tattoo, that's fine. Right. Because guess what? You wanted something off of the wall 20 years ago of Flash. Now times have just changed, and Pinterest
find something on
why
it.
not?
Yeah.
Who cares?
Yeah.
So, and he's really...
Pinterest is just the way you can find it.
Yeah, just changing with the times, man. Yeah. So.
I always find now, that one, I looked at a lot of Pinterest tattoos to see them on locations on bodies.
Okay, yeah.
And that way I could tell if that would be
something that you would
bad.
want.
Yeah. In my world. Anyway. Yeah. So, okay. we're just introducing you. And we went on a tangent.
Then we plugged my husband in here.
Yeah.
Heath Leffel, you guys. Hot as love.
Leffel. Heath Leffel. Okay. But really, I'm here with Kelly Rae Leffel.
Yep.
And we're talking about her today.
Huh.
And this is her podcast.
Yeah.
And so we start the podcast.
Okay.
We is me.
Mm-hmm.
By the
Okay.
way.
Yeah.
Start the podcast with where you were born.
Okay. I
Yeah.
was born and raised Wichita, Kansas.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah.
Tell me about that a little.
Well, both of my parents were, my mom was born in New York, but I don't know when her and her family moved back here. But yeah, it's just kind of bred in me. It's like I've been here my whole life. I've traveled and I've gone and I've left and did my thing and came back. But it was living in Wichita I was kind of spoiled in a way, a little bit, you know, like, I mean,
safe.
I was safe. I went to the same, like, I went to school with the same people pretty much my entire life. Born Catholic, not practicing anymore. Sorry, Mom. Love you. But it was, I mean, you know, private school. Yeah. Like, I'm still friends with the girls I went to grade school with.
Really? Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Because you went to Catholic school?
Oh, yep, I went to St. Francis. But that's, I mean, and so I was really, like, yeah, I had a really good upbringing. Trust me, there was times I fought with my parents and tried to get out of that. Like, I was like, oh, I wanted to go hang out with my public school friends because, you know, that was cool.
And,
but
and what high school did you go to then?
I went to Bishop Carroll.
Bishop Carroll. So you were West Side.
So then, yeah, that was pretty much my growing up. I mean, there's 5 of us. I'm the second to the oldest, and we're all still really, really close.
So how many boys, how many girls?
There's 4 girls and 1 boy, and my brother is the middle child. Poor Justin.
They kept going.
They did.
Had a couple more girls.
Because they wanted to try to have a boy, but it just didn't happen, and they're like,
had
yeah,
one.
done.
And then they had 2 more girls, and they were trying to get another boy.
Another boy, so Justin could have a brother. So yeah. But then
he would have ended up to be gay.
He kind of already is. Trust me, we call him the biggest sister of us all because
Justin. I think I know him. Actually.
Yeah, he works at the restaurant. Well, he did. He worked for a minute, but yeah, we do. We call him. He's more of a girl than any of us girls. We're like, why are you so sensitive, dude? Why do you get offended so easily? What is wrong with you? Yeah, middle child.
That's funny.
Yeah, and my parents, they probably, I don't know, maybe I'm like talking too much about my family. My mom might be mad if she listens to this.
We're not trying to make you mom mad.
No, we love you, Mom. Trish, Mom O. But no, her and my dad had different upbringings, and my dad came from a military family with all boys but 1 girl, and my mom came from
in the Midwest.
And my mom came from a family
New York family.
Well, they weren't from New York. They were from Texas. They moved around until my mom was a little girl, and my grandpa passed away when she was 4. But there's 6 of them, and they're all girls except 1 boy. And my grandma,
same kind of deal.
Yeah, so they butted heads because it was all, my dad wanted my brother to be like the man, and then, you know, different generations, nothing like it is today, right? Yeah. Like, nothing like it is today where you accept, you know, like, and you should accept people for who they are and what they are. But back then it was like embedded in you to be, like, I used to beg my dad to go
in the closet.
Yeah, like, well, and I used to beg my dad to go hunting. Like, I'm a vegetarian now. I cook meat. But no, I would beg him to take me, and he just, or change the oil. I want him to teach me how to change my oil, and he wouldn't do it. He's like, no, that's me and your brother's thing.
Actually, we only made it to high school.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. So we got to high school, and you were at Bishop Carroll, and you played sports?
No.
I
was a choir drama geek.
Okay. Yeah. You were artist.
Yeah. I wouldn't
thespian.
I wouldn't even say I was a drama, like, I was definitely in my choir. That was my thing. Singing was my thing.
Cool. You still sing?
I do. I wasn't. Yeah.
You do karaoke and stuff for sure.
No, I don't like karaoke.
Why?
I do not like karaoke. I think it's because my parents would push that on me whenever we would be out in public, and if there was a karaoke, and they'd be like, do it. Or
because you could sing well.
Yeah, or would there be be around your friends and they were like, Kelly, you should sing this. Kelly, you should do that. And I'm like, no, I'm like, I'm just relaxing. I'm having a good time. I don't need to go up there. Like, I mean, and there's been times where all of a sudden I'm getting called up onto stage because they put my name in. I'm like, what the hell? Like,
they put your name in.
Yeah, like you don't do that.
You're not good friends.
That's not cool. I'm sorry. I know you wanted to hear me sing, but if you know me, you hear me sing because I'm.
Go sing me a song if you like me so much.
Right?
You know?
But yeah.
That's what I say.
Yeah.
Okay, so then high school, after that happened, you went right to WSU?
I never went to college.
You didn't go to college?
I did not go to college.
What did you do? Like, what was you worked right away?
I worked right away. My cousin, John, it was at the Riverside Perk. Mm-hmm. At the time, they were building that juice bar. And him and my cousin Connie, they were building the bar, doing the paintings and murals. I mean, I mean, some people wouldn't even a lot of kids wouldn't even know about this, but it's our coffee house now.
Right.
And I got out of high school. No, is that what I did right after? It was just my first really big job. That's why I'm like, but anyways, he was there doing that and I needed a job and he got me an interview with Michael and Cindy Bennett, and that's kind of how the history
and they owned which
they own the Riverside Perk.
Oh, the Riverside Perk, which is the art coffee shop. Which is the art coffee.
And there was probably 2 other coffee shops in Wichita at the time. There was no Starbucks. There was no, I mean, people were still smoking. I can still remember Michael hanging out over the chili pot with a cigarette,
Michael who?
Michael McCullough.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Your friend. I mean, a cook there.
He was the owner. Yeah.
Okay.
So it was Cindy Bennett and Michael McCullough.
Oh, okay. I thought you meant Bennett. Michael Bennett.
Yeah. No, I said that wrong. But yeah, so there was, it was Michael McCullough and Cindy Bennett, and they were my first real big bosses. And then
what'd you do for them?
Well, I was just a barista at first, and then we were talking about before started recording, being a self-starter. He taught me how to make pies and all, and then all of a sudden I was their manager by the time I was 19.
Oh wow!
And was managing
the shop,
people twice my age, and
sure,
yeah. So
so you're getting your chops, for management,
and
you've kind of always done some. I mean, some people are just born managers, they just have the gift or talent for it, just like someone's good at the guitar, and they don't practice very much, or they don't read music, but they can hear it and play it. Your management skills are at a level like that, you feel like, or did that take a long time to learn?
Well,
or are you still learning?
Oh, I'm still learning every day.
Yeah.
Trust me. Especially with this pandemic, I'm like, how do I manage this?
Yeah.
I think a lot of it, to me, management, it's funny because it's not what most people's definitions would be. And I've said this before in some interviews, and my family's very family oriented, and we're all most of the ladies in my family were taught you have to have children, you have to do this, you have to have a household. And I feel like restaurants and managing a restaurant is kind of like managing a household.
Definitely.
And that's, being a mom, you can understand what I'm saying. So like the kids that I have as my actual employees seem more like children to me than they do. And I'm just trying to teach them the best I can. And I really honestly think management is more leading by example than it is just bossing around and telling people what to do and how to manage this and do that. I hope that they see me being a self-starter and getting things done, that they pick up on that. I used to always say, not as competition, but work harder than the person that's working next to you. Not because you're trying to be better or be good or, prove a point, but it's to
motivate yourself.
Well, to motivate yourself, but also to prove to them and yourself that you're not doing it to take advantage of anything. You're not doing it to, you're being more of an understanding and I'm trying, like, I don't know where I'm going with this.
Contributing player.
Yeah, you're a contributing player. Like,
Right.
I mean, not everyone's going to be the starting players of your team, though.
You want people to think when you get there, I feel like as a good team player, you want people to think when you show up a relief because you're going to get some shit done while you're there and they know it.
Exactly.
So it kind of, whether they want to tell you that it's a relief or not, is whether they like you or not, really.
Right.
But if you know in your heart that you go into a thing, no matter what it is,
giving it your all,
giving it your best, and making sure that you're attentive to other people's needs and wants, then you're going to succeed.
Right. And you're not going to let your neighbor down.
Because people like that.
Yeah.
Because you like that, so you know people like that. So I like it when people are listening, are attentive to me, and they're wanting, like, at least they're not put off by me or anything going around. That's kind of it makes people like, oh, so-and-so's here. Good. Because I needed some help.
Right.
You know?
Yeah. And then that's, I mean, to talk about, like, just being team players, it's like we all have our starting team, right? But we need the people. We need that. Yeah. Like, we need that. And I think that's the same.
Third string.
Yeah.
You know, in some cases.
And really.
Specialists.
Yeah. And we, like I say, we all get to point A to point B differently.
Right.
So don't be upset that person's not going to do everything like you and how you want to play the game. It's not going to be their strategy.
Right.
And
maybe the end game, you know, maybe their end game and your end game are a little different. You know? Yep.
Yeah.
It's true. So management is, you know, figuring that out about people.
Yeah.
What's their good thing and how does it pair with what I need and what this team needs, you know. So that's good.
Yeah.
So you have that strategic brain.
Well, and I mean, and that's that, and then because of what I was just saying, it's where I talk about our egos and letting go of that. I'm not, like, it seems so opposite of what I just said. It's like, work harder than the person working next to you. But that's, I was like, no, I don't want you to actually feel that. It's not like, oh, I still need you to have a balance. Like, there's a balance where your ego is completely out the door because you're not going to judge the person next to you. Right. And you're just going to appreciate them because they're there and they're helping you.
Doing something. Yeah.
So they're not always doing something, but having so many years of things behind you being like, hey, I'm not telling you that you should not do that way. You can totally do that way, but let me show you this way. And maybe
for you, I don't know.
I mean,
try it.
You can give it a try. If not, like, if your brain just doesn't fire that way, because I mean,
sometimes that
just doesn't fire that way.
It's not going to happen.
Yeah. So
and you don't want to just hit your head up against the wall. So management, you were managing at 19, and then how long did you stay there at the?
Well, I was there for 5 years, and then the Vagabond, when that opened, it poached me, it got me, and they hired me as manager.
Delano?
In Delano, and I was the manager there.
Is that a bar or is that a coffee shop?
It's coffee shop / bar, yeah.
Okay.
So, and that was when it first opened, and then I didn't last very long there because Michael, the owner of the Perk, got in a car accident.
Oh.
And I left to go manage the Perk again because
he was gone.
So what happened, he fell asleep at the wheel going to Kansas City. He was on his way back. He was having the coffee maker, the espresso machine worked on, and he fell asleep on the way back, and he was in ICU for like a month or so.
Whoa.
I mean, this was 20 years ago, so my brain is like, God, I should remember this like it was yesterday, but I don't remember.
It turns all the same.
I'm like, am I even remembering this right? I don't know. But
well, so if you're not, somebody will let you know.
Yeah. So I quit and went back and ended up living with his wife and taking care of them and like the restaurant and
For a job.
A
As
job,
friends
but when you
yeah.
work at a local place, and it becomes kind of incestuous, and you kind of become family and stuff.
Yeah.
So at that point, I was living with Cindy Bennett, and if there's some people that'll listen to this and be like, "Oh, wow, you lived with Cindy Bennett," she was something. So
Yeah, was she?
yeah, they're both passed now.
Are they?
Mm-hmm.
What happened to them?
I believe Cindy overdosed, and
so that might have been why she was something.
oh yeah, she was something.
Okay.
Yeah,
I
can't even remember like that. Like my timeline is so off, but I mean, I was managing her and the rest, like the perk, while he was in ICU, while the IRS was coming in and taking money. Yeah, yeah.
Wow, that's
way too young for that shit.
Yeah.
But I will say.
Experienced that though.
Oh, I experienced that.
So in a bad way.
In a bad way.
But
I think everything is, even the bad is a good example of what you don't want to be. Right. And I just remember dealing with that and being like, I never want to be that kind of like we're all but nothing but walking examples, and that is nothing I want to be like. Right. I mean, don't get me wrong, I loved them to death. Right. That's one of the reasons why I moved in with her. Yeah, sure. So, but I was too young. I was in my early 20s. Right. Shouldn't have dealt with that.
So then you were, what, 22, 23 years old?
I was 23 when that happened. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So then you parted ways. They didn't die,
Well,
right?
They didn't know. What happened was they actually sold. Like, Michael got out of, he was actually, I believe in... he got out of ICU, mm-hmm. And I, oh God, now I'm like, it's all blur to me. Exactly.
That's fun.
They sold it, and so they sold it to someone that, this was, like I said, before Starbucks was even here, and they really wanted to be like the next Starbucks, and they thought they were going to franchise this and have this thing, and
they did?
The people that bought it, yeah. Oh, okay. And they were great people, but you know what it's like when new management comes in, like everyone has like,
it's an adjustment.
It's so hard. I mean, you've been running things the way you've been running it for so long, and and so
because it's new to them.
And I mean, and I left, with like Grace, it was easy. I mean, I helped them for a while, but after they sold it, I was just kind of like, all right, peace. And I think that was around the time Shane opened the Anchor, and then I went and worked at the Anchor for.
Anchor, what a great idea.
Yeah.
I'm serious.
Yeah. It was like the first place that you could buy a good beer. Like that would
beer,
yeah.
And a hamburger.
Mm-hmm. Well, no, I was there before there was burgers and chips.
Really?
And all. Yeah, because it was a coffee shop. Chips. It was a coffee shop bar before it was anything. It was.
Yeah, because that's why they had the big bar and they had it writing and.
Yeah.
I
mean, talk about a girl that has a lot of ideas that she just keeps pushing out. Yeah.
Yeah, man, she's motivated. Yeah. She doesn't like me very much, but she doesn't hate me. She just doesn't know me at all.
Yeah.
So and she's real standoffish.
Yeah.
So I'm always like, Shane, you should come on my podcast. So she's like, radio silence.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's a little bit of a roller coaster.
Well, I can tell.
Yeah.
You can tell.
Yeah.
I mean, like us roller coasters.
Mm-hmm.
Because I have a bit of it. I'm pretty steady.
Yeah.
And then until elections and stuff, and then I'm just like, what the fuck is happening? Why is this happening?
Yeah, exactly.
Can you not feel it?
Yeah.
You're hot.
Yeah.
But mostly I'm steady. But yeah, I see that.
Yeah. She's a bit of a roller coaster.
Yeah.
I worked for her for a while.
Yeah.
I love her, but it's like,
it's work.
Yeah.
It's work to love her.
It was like going in with Michael and Cindy and then going into another situation with another.
A different whole situation.
Yeah. So.
And you were already worn out. So maybe you just didn't have tolerance for it.
Well, I'm also, I don't get offended very easily. I don't get, I'm okay. I get worked up, but not, I get, I'm very easy to let people just know how I'm feeling, and I don't bottle stuff up, and I don't, I'm not
and
a roller.
It's over?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it might have been from when I was a child where we could just
confess?
Oh, there was, okay, this is a funny, yeah. Catholic Catholicism.
You're now forgiven.
Yeah. I remember one time at the restaurant when Tanya was still alive, I was talking on the phone with my dad, and she comes up behind me and puts her arms on my shoulder, and she like whispers in my ear, and she goes, "You are frightening people right now." And I'm like, what? Well, because I was telling my dad to fuck off because he was being a jerk. Like, and then 5 seconds later, I was probably like, "All right, Dad, love you, bye." And it was just easy, and it was never
like both things. You have a very open relationship with
very
your dad.
Yeah, and it would open relationship with my dad, but just in general with like life, I'm like, I just don't let that stuff build up. Everyone knows I'm an open book with and I don't freak out. Sense. So I don't know, like it's. Yeah, I mean, so roller coasters usually are in their head and they're overthinking. They don't know where they're going to go, and and I don't spin out. I'm just kind of like, yep, no, this is my direction. Yeah, you're gonna know it. Sorry, yeah, pretty nice. You're gonna hear it. I'm probably gonna cry a lot.
It's okay.
Yeah,
So that's how you digest really quickly.
Yeah,
you're a fast digester. Mm-hmm. And whereas some people hold on to things way too long.
Yeah. No, I don't hold on to anything really.
That's cool. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's really good.
Yeah.
That's why you can be a good manager.
Yeah.
Because every day's a new day.
That's true. That's true. Yeah. So
okay, from there you went to the Anchor.
I was at the Anchor for a while, and then Cafe Moderne opened, and Tanya had just written the menu for it, and then they needed a new manager, and then they poached me. Like I've never had to really apply for a job. Like
you just get poached. And then you're just like opportunity knocks.
Yeah, I'm like, yeah, sure. I'll go that way.
I know everything like the back of my hand on this, so I want a new adventure.
I don't know everything off the back of my hand, but I'm just a hard worker.
Yeah.
So and they see that
routine like now.
A routine. So that's it. That's the key is a routine. Yeah. So
and that is something you have to do. Mm-hmm. Like if someone wants to get fit, they have to go work out, and they have to have a routine.
Yep.
And something that won't stress out certain parts of your body at certain times.
Structure.
Or whatever. And you have to keep your routine. Mm-hmm. And then your end result becomes this goal.
Yeah.
That you've achieved. Mm-hmm. And with any job that you want to succeed at, you have a routine and you have certain functions.
Exactly.
And, life throws obstacles at you at every turn.
Exactly.
And I know you know that more than anyone. But, as a manager and having to deal with, like, COVID, for instance.
Yeah.
That is, and pivot is the business word right now. You gotta pivot.
Right.
And it almost makes me want to punch people because it's annoying. And sometimes you just want to not pivot.
Yeah. No, I don't. You're ruining my routine. Right. You are messing with my routine.
Yeah.
Like my days, and then
now I gotta rethink my day.
Exactly. Where I used to just get up, have this complete, I didn't even have to think about it. It was just muscle memory, and I would just go through my day. And then now there's mornings where I'm like, where am I? Not necessarily where am I at? Obviously, that would be a little,
on the schedule.
But I'm just what do I need to do now?
Make money to do this, because that's part of the deal. You got to figure out how to do this thing efficiently enough to make money off of it.
Right. Or just not even make money, just break even.
I'm not even do that.
I don't even necessarily.
This is a wash. 2020 is a fucking wash.
Yeah,
right?
I'm just trying to stay alive.
Sorry.
No, I'm all about the F-bombs. Half the time that I've got people looking at me like, what? And I'm like, I'm so sorry.
Was that wrong?
Yeah.
That's so wrong.
We'll be well, not now because Heath and I aren't going out to dinner anywhere. But when we were, there would be times that he would literally be like, babe, there is a family right behind you. You need to stop cussing. And I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about, huh?
Sorry. Sailor in me.
And I do it in front of my nieces and nephews. I don't know. So.
Yeah.
It happens.
Yeah. I have my own. I'm not great at holding. I could never do the writing jokes without a cuss word in it.
Oh, yeah.
I feel like cussing makes me laugh more.
Me too. I mean, like, and I'm like, don't let your fuckery fade.
No.
Say it. Like,
Yeah,
say it with
funny
like.
sounding anyway.
But I mean, it's just it is, but it's not. It's just
like
fuckery.
like
it's like haha.
all of it.
Mm-hmm. Me
so
too.
Then,
right there with you.
Okay. See, we agree on so much.
Mm-hmm.
We really do. So okay.
I was at the Anchor.
And
then Cafe Moderne. And then I went back to the Anchor, and that's when I got yoga certified.
Okay.
And then
So you've been doing yoga since when?
Well, I've been doing yoga. Oh gosh, maybe. God, I mean that's funny because it was. I mean, Tanya's Soup Kitchen has been open for almost 10 years, and I got certified when I was at the Anchor, and I was doing picture framing too with Mike Karras at his frame shop.
Oh,
mm-hmm.
That's fun.
Yeah, I love it.
That's a good skill to have because then you can make money on the side if you ever need it or something like that. Because people always have pictures they need.
Oh yeah,
and
I mean that's not going anywhere. Yeah, I mean you'll have your like store bought frames that for your 18 by 20, but I mean everyone has a different like size and shape and honestly sometimes a picture frame can make an image.
That is for sure.
It's so true. I mean, it's like the final piece, like to the puzzle.
Sure is.
And so, it's my cousin John or Nat. He's before he had
That's your cousin.
Yeah. My mom and his mom are sisters. She's the oldest of that family, and so So John and I have about 12 years difference, I think. Yeah. But I lived with John and Connie.
Cool.
And was their nanny for Ernie and George. Was a live-in nanny.
And that's why you're so close to those boys.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And
so, at one point, it was, I kind of, like, it's crazy. Kansas Street just kind of drew me back because John owned the 4 houses. So Tanya's Soup Kitchen is on Kansas Street, like Kansas and Douglas. So John owned the 4 houses that were on that block. I mean, it's 4 houses, apartments, and that church that are there. And John owned all of them. Buck lives in one of them.
Yeah.
Well, John, the house next door to Buck's house was John's studio, and that's where I lived. And so I would nanny. And then Buck lived in one of those, the other houses. And so then I went to Australia, and Matthew Walker and I were hanging out, and he was just like, I'm gonna live in this house one day, the house, John's studio house. And I'm like, no, you're not, motherfucker. This is my house. This is where I live. Well, sure enough, when I'm in Australia for a couple months,
lives there.
Matt bought freaking that house from John. And so I get back, and then I move in with, like, I live in the house with John and Connie, Buck's house now. And they're like, we're gonna sell this house, and then we're going to buy this building, which I don't know. Do you know Georgia and Torrin? They bought the building that they moved into. Oh, it's like a whoo.
Just on Kansas Street.
Well, that building wasn't on Kansas Street, but Buck ended up buying John and Connie's house. I moved into Buck's house, so I lived in 3 houses right there off Kansas.
Wow, right by where you guys have Tanya's now.
Right by. Yeah. So
across the street.
Yeah.
So, but now you live a little further.
Yeah, not too much further. Yeah, I live in Longview neighborhood is what it's called, and it's right behind the Calvary Cemetery, like right off Kellogg.
Yeah. I like that cemetery.
Oh my God, it's beautiful. Cemetery.
I one time just sat there for a while just because I needed to. And the cars going by, it's kind of surreal,
I love it. Yeah. I love a cemetery, and it's not like, Heath and I have family photos that we're going to take together, just the 2 of us, and I was like making a joke, and it's like, we should have Casey take some pictures of us in the cemetery because I just love it so much. She's like, all right, 90s goth girl. And I'm like, yeah, it is a little silly, isn't it? I'm like, but I love a good cemetery. Yeah. Like my favorites are the ones that when you're driving out, like you're in the middle of nowhere and all of a sudden you're like on the highway and you see like 15 headstones and that's it, and you're like, what did I just pass by? It's so beautiful because it just like shows you existence in a place where you don't think there is any.
And you start, if you're like me, you start kind of wandering off to the story of why that was the cemetery and for that 15 people and the town.
Yeah.
That must have been there.
You imagine the people and why. Yeah, exactly. I love it. I think it's beautiful.
They must have went to, you know, that kind of thing.
Yeah, I think it's beautiful. I think cemeteries are beautiful. I don't think they're...
Yeah.
Maybe I'm a little goth, but not really.
But have you been to New Orleans?
Huh? I have.
So, did you go to the cemetery?
Oh, yeah. I did.
Yeah, that was cool.
That's gorgeous.
There. We rode the trolley, streetcar, whatever they call it, up to the cemeteries and got out and walked around and read all the dates and how old they were, you know, and how theirs are above because of the water level or whatever.
Heath and I plan on going back. When we went for WrestleMania because my husband is a WWE freak.
WrestleMania. Was there anybody in particular that you guys were there for?
Well, we thought it was going to be Undertaker's last year.
So Undertaker.
Yeah, but it hasn't been.
Yeah,
I think
it's like Ozzy.
Yeah,
it just
keeps going.
This is the last.
But we met with our friends that were from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, and he was one of those that like wanted to follow all of their Twitters, wanted to follow this is where they're at, and I'm like, babe, Heath, I told you if we're gonna go to New Orleans, we're gonna do the actual WrestleMania, but I don't want to I want to do the things in New Orleans. Well, I mean, we were with friends that we haven't seen in so long, and we ended up doing some of those stupid things.
Stalking.
So,
yeah. Stalking like, Undertaker.
Why?
And Rowdy Roddy.
Yeah.
No, I don't know. I like Rowdy Roddy.
Yeah.
I just like his name.
Yeah. Well, my husband likes him because of that one movie. The
Awake. They live.
They live. Yeah.
They
live.
They live. You can see him if you have the glasses on. Oh, man. Fuck that.
He sent me, like, Halloween ideas for this year, and I'm like, well, we're not going to dress up because we're not doing anything because of fucking COVID, so why? But it's like, I didn't get it. I did not get it because it was just glasses and this weird, like, black and white, and I'm like, I have no idea what you're showing me right now. And Marty...
He knew.
I showed him. I'm like, what the fuck is he sending me? Like Marty, and he goes, "Oh, it's They Live," and I'm like, "Oh." I'm like, okay, I could do that maybe next year.
Damn it, maybe.
I
don't know. I feel
Fingers
sorry.
crossed.
Yeah, I feel sorry for Joe Biden because he's gonna have a hell of a job to do after this. Because nobody wants to do anything anybody says.
Yeah,
it's ridiculous.
It's hard.
It is. I'm just sad at people because they don't want to do it to help their fellow man.
Yeah.
Just help your fellow man.
That's love. Love is love. That's all. That's why I'm like, I don't know if you see it like I write love. That is all.
Yeah, that is all. I didn't see today. So, okay.
So we were at the Perk? No, we were not.
no, that was
a way ago. We were at the
Anchor,
and then I was doing the nannying, yoga, and then picture framing and working at the Anchor. And then that was when we had Artfully Blended too, that catering service.
Okay.
So.
And that was just your own catering service?
No, that was with Sarah.
Okay.
Yeah.
You and Sarah did that. And then Tanya came along.
Yep. Well, when we were doing the Artfully Blended, Tanya was still, she didn't have the soup kitchen yet, but she was still doing things. She was going to school, but she was still doing cooking classes at the, oh my goodness. It's now called Mark Arts, but it was something else right before
Center?
that. Center for the Arts. Yeah. Thank you. And so we would work those for her. And that's how I got to know Tanya, because I never worked at Tanya's.
Doing the cooking.
But I always worked with people that had had two jobs. I mean, because when you're in the service industry, a lot of times you have two jobs. And so,
night job kind of
so there was, there's a few people that had worked for Tanya, but also worked at the Perk. And so, I mean, I've known Tanya for a while.
And they act and they do bands.
That's exactly. It's
right?
kind of is a hand. Comes together hand in hand.
Because you do one and make a certain level of money, and then the other one.
Mine was traveling.
Yeah.
I would work my ass off and work, 60-hour weeks, if not more than that, and
Right.
like be like, is it okay if I leave for a couple months? And then they would be like, please.
Be cool with that?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, wow. That would be kind of fun.
Yeah. Well, when you have a trustworthy person in the restaurant industry that they're
and
like...
they don't weasel you out, like, but when you get back, everything's different and you don't feel welcome anymore? Or do they just like, oh, we've been waiting for you to come back?
Oh, I've been waiting for you to come back.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, at one point,
cool.
I moved to California when I was at the Perk.
Mm-hmm.
Moved to California for 6 months, and I only thought it was going to be a 6-month thing. I was helping my friend move. I talked to Michael, and I was like, I'm just going to help her move, settle in.
Mm-hmm.
And I got a job at an art store, Artists and Craftsman Supply.
Yeah.
And I was selling art supplies and doing picture framing there. And I grew to love it. I thought I wasn't going to. And so the day that I was going to call Michael to tell him that I was going to stay, he was just, before I could even say anything, he's like, I can't wait for you to come back. He's just like, I haven't had a day off since you left. I am like ready to like have a break. If it's okay, when you come back, me and Cindy would like to go on a cruise.
Uh-huh.
And I was just, it was like a father telling me that, and I couldn't say no. I was like,
oh, really?
So I moved back.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Otherwise, I mean, who knows what I would have, like, I could have stayed.
Very...
Yeah. I could have stayed in Cal. I might have, like, who knows if that conversation would have gone differently.
Right.
I would have, which also is, I think it's fun to think of our timelines that way. Like, it's just an instant
that
really can change
cool.
things. Mm-hmm.
If you think about it, you know, I mean, it is. It's one sentence or the tone.
Yeah. I mean, I've almost bought 2 houses before, 2 different houses than the one I live in today. And I think, where would I be at if I was in that house? What if I bought that house? Because one was like right before I went to India and did volunteer work one time. And I probably wouldn't have been able to afford to do that if that house, like if I didn't get like because it's supposed to be like this weird rent to own kind of thing. And like it would have, what if I never would have had that experience.
Right.
An instant can change things.
So true. Mm-hmm. And just, you never know.
Yeah. I didn't think I was ever going to be an owner of a restaurant.
Yeah. And it's like one of the best restaurants.
Thanks.
Like steadfast, tasty soups.
Thanks.
You know, and also just good quality and yummy.
Yeah.
You know, and you're
we're
thoughtful.
trying to be as good quality right now these days.
It's
that was
hard.
something I really like. People stop reviewing places right now. It's rude. We're all having a really hard time. And I see people reviewing places saying the quality wasn't. And I'm like, we are working with what we've got.
Right.
I
mean,
mean,
you can't keep the fresh stuff if you don't know how many you're going to sell the next day. And
yeah.
you don't want to waste.
Well, and it's not even necessarily the bread and everything is fresh but I'm like, it's more like, will my like provider have the exact same quality of the, like, I usually buy the premium quality of deli sliced meats and stuff, but they might not have it, and I just have to get
Isn't that crazy?
And so people are just getting so upset over little things. I'm like, no, this is, don't judge me right now. Don't judge us right now.
Right.
Not one, like, I will not judge anyone right now.
It's just not the time.
No.
It's not the time to turn on each other, people.
I know. Don't be bitches.
We're all in this together.
Right. I totally agree.
It's so frustrating, you know?
Yeah.
It's frustrating for everyone.
It is frustrating. And it's so hard to just have a plan right now.
You can't have a plan.
There's no, like, it's no like,
plan.
yeah, there's no plan. It's like living day to day, like figuring out what we can. It's minute to minute. And then judging people that are trying to do the best that they can is just not my friend.
Right.
And then I think, you know, whatever. This is like, my mom always said, you want everyone to like you. You just want everyone to like you.
Right.
And then as I got older, I'm like, no, that's not it. You don't want everyone to like you. Because you can't have everyone like you.
Right,
it's impossible. It's impossible.
Right.
It's literally impossible. Because you can be the friendliest, most outgoing, loving human being, and people will still look at you like, who are you? Why are you so nice?
Judging
What
you
is
for
wrong with
something.
you? Or there's a little jealousy, or there's, you know, like they just don't understand.
Right.
So what you say is, it shouldn't be just have everyone like you. It should be just do the best you can.
Right.
Be the best person that you can.
And if you
the
can't
best version of you. Don't worry if they don't like you, because guess what? That's okay. They don't need to. And you don't need to like them. And it's not even not liking them. You just they don't have to have any effect on you. Like none at all. And that's, I wish we would kind of live more like that right now. But there's so much of a battle that it's kind of sad to see that people are just like, you're not like me. So it's kind of.
So I don't like you.
No, why don't you like me?
I mean, like, you're not like me, so I don't like you.
Yeah.
Or whatever. People do that.
Yeah.
It's like, on a scale of 1 to 10, that's like way up there on stupid levels.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
But I try not to be like, you're a dummy.
Yeah.
Or,
be logical, not illogical. Be able to back your statements.
Right.
Instead of just saying, fuck you.
Right.
Like, I mean,
exactly.
Be able to
understand.
Like, and that's the thing is, and if you want to really change someone's mind, be able to, and it's not even change someone's mind, like, or just, that's the thing, it's the, how I was saying, just like the preaching, like we were talking about religion earlier,
right?
Like, you should, be okay with other people having different feelings than yours, and it's okay.
Debate,
yeah, just be logical.
Without being personal.
Be logical.
Yeah.
If you really, really want to be able to have those conversations, know what you're talking about.
Yes.
Know what you're talking
really
about.
Helpful.
My husband knows what he's talking about. I am I
usually won't go into a debate without some previous knowledge of what we're debating about.
Right.
I just don't blindly
you just
walk
do
into
you just don't do it
with someone.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, my husband, he does his research. He does his, and he and I are like, I'm completely baffled by how he just delves into it. Like, and me, I'm the complete opposite of him. I'm kind of what I don't know doesn't hurt me. However, I'm not an idiot. I'm not an idiot, but I'm also like, if you know me, I'm overly sensitive. Like, I'm not to a point where I'm not strong. I still feel very strong in my beliefs, but I'm definitely, I wear my heart on my sleeves, and I know that if I really delve into something, that it could potentially, like, just do something inside me that I don't want it to. Like you were saying, you're just like, I just want to explode sometimes. And I'm like, yeah, I've got a lot on my plate. I don't want to explode over something I don't have control over.
Exactly.
I put my vote in, but I don't have control over it. So.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I have my opinion, but I don't have control. That's another thing I like to say to my employees is like, I can't control anything. I can't. I can only manage so much. Mm-hmm. Like, if I could, this would not be happening right now, right? Right? I do the best that I can with what I've got.
Exactly.
So.
Yeah, exactly. So that brings us to where you guys went in with Tanya and started the business, and then that, you said 10 years this year?
It'll be 10 in April that she opened up.
And how long before she was murdered did it open up? I forget. Like 5 years or 6
Oh,
years?
when we bought it?
Yeah.
Like when we bought it. Well, I mean, we kept it going under her parents and the estate and stuff. And so, yeah, it'll be going on 6 in March.
Going on 6. Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah.
So that's in March, and that's when COVID struck. Mm-hmm. On the 5th birthday. And the 6th birthday is going to be coming up.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, yeah, at about a halfway point, and from there, you guys took it over, and now you're running it yourself.
Mm-hmm. So.
And how's that? How do you feel about your crew? I mean, besides that, it's so hard to have this interview during COVID because it's not the normal crew. I'm sure it's not the normal anything, It's like you have to flex with what you're allowed to do.
Yeah.
I mean, even regulation-wise. And
right. I mean, I like this, and there's some that have respectfully stepped away, and it wasn't, like one of my previous employees was a massage therapist, and it was like that was her career. That's what she wants to do, and she was just like, I just don't feel comfortable doing both, working at a restaurant, touching people's bodies, and I completely understood that. And then there's also some employees that suffer really high anxiety, and why would I, force them to do anything that could cause their anxieties to, I mean, not only that, I mean, it's not like she doesn't want to be around people. She doesn't want, people don't want to be around her, I feel sad saying that, but it's like that anxiety is, I don't want to feed that. I don't want to make her feel like she's uncomfortable. I mean, we are all, our mental health right now is more important than a business.
Right.
Yeah. I mean.
Yeah. Or anything that totally makes sense.
Yeah.
There's some people who have to really pivot, and those are those people that are very they were kind of OCD to begin with, and now all hell's broke loose.
Yeah.
And I know that I am vigilant, but I wasn't OCD to begin with, so now I'm just OCD.
Right.
So now I'm caught up with everyone who was OCD, but they're on to the next level, which is fear. Fear of going out. I'm kind of not fearful of that. I'm fearful of people.
Right.
And germs,
Right. It's definitely creating a new normal.
It is.
And we're all changing, what is life but constant change? I mean, that's what we're doing every day.
Not at this level.
Oh, yeah. No, it's extreme.
This is very extreme.
Like I told you, I was like dry heaving anxiety yesterday. And I'm just like, oh, my God. But we're not going anywhere. And it's
good days and bad days.
Oh,
you know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
And some days are bad. But I think we're at least hopefully going in the right direction now, and maybe if we're lucky, we'll recover. We'll be moving on, and there'll be growth. Leave it in the back, and maybe we will wear masks every winter from now until the end of time because of the flu and corona. Did you get your corona shot? Did you get your flu shot? It'll be a different world, but we'll be able to deal with it.
Yeah.
And we'll have gone through it together. So, I mean, yeah.
There'll be growth.
It's okay. I think we're going to be okay.
Yeah. I mean, in hardship, it actually, I mean, it's as much as hard as it feels like it can be some days when you just have a weight on your shoulder and your chest is in a knot, you grow.
Yeah.
And we'll grow as a community.
Oh, for sure. And we will eventually land in the right side.
Yeah.
I just know it because we're just too many kind-hearted, good people. And there's a lot of shitty people too.
We just need to learn to check our egos.
Yeah. Bring attention to our good parts.
Yeah, exactly.
But not gloat.
Exactly. Even though with COVID, I definitely feel safe. And I feel safe because I know that I have a backing from our community that is incredible. And I know that I have a place that I'm building not just for myself. I don't have children of my own, but I've got so many nieces and nephews and like Ernie and George, and a place that I'm building for them to have a future too. And I mean, even if it is just a small business, and that can be hard, I don't see, like, and there's been people who are like, oh, you need a franchise and you need to do this. And I'm like, that's not what Tanya Soup Kitchen is. It's kind of a heart. It's like where you go and you feel like you're hanging out with family. And when you start growing like that with franchises, you don't have someone that's going to come up like me and hug you and be, which I won't hug you these days. Don't get me wrong. I like future. But
back in the past before COVID.
Yeah. So it's where all types are welcome, and which I absolutely love, because that place, I mean, you like when it is like bustling with people, I mean, it's just like you've got your, like there's this one guy who's a little old retired man that I absolutely loved. His name was Mike, and I saw him and he was just so adorable. And then right next to him is like this punk teen that like doesn't even like won't even think about grandpa, but then they still like somehow were okay with being in the same space. And it was like,
and they love the
it wasn't
chicken.
like, it wasn't the punk.
They both love the city chicken.
So it was just like, it was, you know, and I want to keep it that way to where it feels that way. I mean, there's things that I feel like I can do in the future. Like since Heath opened up that tattoo shop, we bought that building and it's got all that land behind it. And I'm like, why can't I have a satellite like station where I build a commercial kitchen in a storage unit, like one of those commercial and do where that's where only DoorDash and caterings come out of. Because
that makes sense,
because it's so like, and but I don't want it to be like, oh, we have another location, people come here. It's more of a satellite location. It's like, hey, DoorDash, any like if we decide to get more like Grubhub, and I was like that. I mean, so many people like Uber Eats are like, you should do this. And I'm like, dude, I cannot. These are only 3 kiddos building your guys' sandwiches, and 2 people, me and Marty, creating the food in the back while they like build it. I'm like, we can't. I mean, we're only 5 people, man. Like that is a lot.
Down to the skeleton crew right now.
Yeah. And down to the skeleton crew. Yeah. So like eventually, I mean, I think it would be cool to have just another tiny little spot for where any of like our
like to-goes and deliveries,
the DoorDashes, and like, I mean, and they can better maintain it because like we get busy
packaging and stuff like that.
Well, and we get busy, and then a customer is in line, and then we run out of something, and we're not able to get to DoorDash to say we're out of that. Yeah. These people are going to be able to maintain it better, whereas we're, you know, we're like call we're all over the place.
Hey, we're out of tomato.
Yeah,
you don't have the time.
Well, I mean, and that's what's weird too with like DoorDash. We have had it to where we were out of something, so I call and I want to make sure it's right. And they're like, well, since the order's already been placed and it's already run through, you can't do anything about it. Now they have to come through and say that they didn't get all of their order. And I'm like, well, that's a bullshit step for those people. Like, true. That should be that's my end.
Like that one. Anyway.
Well, I don't really like any of them.
Their service sucks.
And it's hard for me, like, because I'm just, you know, old school, and I just think you go to the restaurant or you just get it to go. Yeah, that's what you do. You don't do but I get it. You have to change with the times. So
everybody needs a little money. Everybody needs a little scratch.
Yeah. Well, and that's when we first went through COVID, like the lockdown, I was like, I'm not doing a DoorDash. I'll have someone on like my team deliver it because that way I know how it's being handled. But right now with everything, just to do what we can, we can't deliver 6, 7 like locations because I need my staff. I need my staff at the thing because,
right.
Yeah, so.
Crazy.
I know.
I just can't even imagine. So, as COVID times happen and you guys are doing what you can.
Right.
With your small crew, limited supplies, lots of different obstacles in your way.
Right.
But you're feeling good, you're feeling safe, and you're feeling at home. Yeah. So that's good.
And that's, I was, just today I was talking to someone at the restaurant, because she was going on and on about this gumbo I made one time. I'm like, yeah, it's really hard to recreate a gumbo the right way. That's why it's named so many different things. Like, on my board, it's not like just chicken curry. Because it can't ever be consistent because my roux could get a little darker or this could be, you know, like, so I don't ever, like, I always change the name up. And she's like, man, it just was so good. And I'm like, that's my goal. Yeah. I want to make a memory. That's all I care about. Right. I don't necessarily care about I care about the way it looks, trust me, but I don't need to have a schmear and dollop or...
Not for it to go. Anyway.
Yeah. Well,
it loses it.
We're good food served fast. We're not fast food. We're good food served fast. We high turnover, like it's, you know, in and out, but that's what, I mean, I'd rather care. I care more about having someone remember it's the best food that they had, then it looked pretty.
Right.
I mean, pretty food is pretty food, though. I mean, it is. I mean,
there's a time and a place.
Yeah, I'd rather it melt in your mouth and be like, oh my God, I'll never forget this shit. Me too. So.
Yep. And that is true. We have experiences through our taste buds and just what's happening around us and smells and such.
Yeah.
And the ambiance.
The ambiance. Yeah, no, and that's, I say all the time, it's like, my favorite compliment is when people say that's better than my grandma made it. Yeah. Which is kind of like, all right, sorry, Grandma. But
don't tell her. Whisper it. So, at this point, after we go through people's lives, I like to ask the question of them, do they have a story of inspiration that they'd like to share?
Inspiration.
So, it could be something that inspired you, or it could just be something that you find inspiring.
Yeah. I don't want to, because it's so different. Like, for so many people, like I say, my family's a rarity, but my family inspires me. But it's also, there's more to that, because I think chosen family is also an inspiration. Like, I was lucky to have a family that I would choose.
Yeah.
But it's my chosen, I mean, I'm surrounded by so many people that just every day I'm in awe of, and I feel so fortunate in that way, and I almost just hope that I can do my part for them that they do for me. And there's so, like, I just love everyone so much. It's so hard. I'm inspired all the time. Seriously.
Yeah, me too.
I just feel lucky. I really do. I feel lucky.
When I had the opportunity to work at Tanya's, I just found the crew inspiring, the way that they just jammed all the life into their day, you know? It just made me feel more vigor.
Yeah.
And there's nothing wrong. Plus, the food was awesome. Doesn't hurt either. But the crowd was nice, too.
The crowd was incredible. And the family that we've created is definitely something that's inviting and warms the inside as much as the soup does. It's definitely... Well, I was telling you about Georgia, and she was telling me the other day that she went on a walk and she saw a flower and she started getting teary-eyed. And I was just like, oh, okay. And she goes, and then I thought, this must be how Kelly Rae feels all the time. And I'm like, it's so me. It is. Aww. It is me.
That's so fantastic.
So, I mean, I wish I had something that I could say to, like, actually make, like, be like, oh, it's just, I just feel really lucky.
You've had good role models.
I've had fantastic role models.
Yeah.
Great loves. Great heartaches.
Yeah.
Heartache is just as much big of a role in our lives.
Yeah, for
because it really does mold us and shape us into who we want to be. It's just like I said, our examples aren't going to be exactly who you want to be, but exactly who you don't want to be. Right. And I feel honored by all of those people, because it wasn't like they were doing it, like, it wasn't, their actions weren't trying to do anything to me personally. Mm-hmm. They were just being themselves. And even if it was something that was like faltering, they don't know how much it impacted me, because I learned from it. Like I saw it. I saw their actions and I used it as an example. So I feel if people did that a little bit more, then we'd all, not place blame and blame people. Why blame? Like, don't blame them.
What good does it do?
It doesn't do any good. Right. Just look at it as an example. That's all.
Sure. Yeah. That's really good.
Mm-hmm. And do yoga. Oh my God. I haven't
still doing after all these years
6
yoga.
days a week.
6 days
I haven't, so when I got teacher certified, when I got, just kind of relaxed, so I can do these podcasts with you.
Okay.
I would have.
Is this Thursday is your day off?
Thursday's my day off.
Oh, thank you, Kelly. I like that.
But I really, man, I don't, and it doesn't even have to be yoga, but find something that, like we were talking about earlier, like get your energy going. If you you're just like a routine. If you have this routine My husband's skateboarding. He's like
Yeah,
totally,
I saw that.
yeah, he's been skating
There's a bunch
a
of
lot.
them skateboarding lately.
Yeah.
You can do it outside.
Yeah.
Don't have to. You can't be near anybody because
No.
you're flinging a board around and you could hurt somebody.
Yeah. Well, for what I got him for his anniversary gift is a GoPro because he really wants to get into, because he's like, I've got old bones, man. I cannot do the shit I did when I was a kid.
Yeah.
So he's wanting to be the one that video, like, he's like, I can be on my skateboard and like have my little with my GoPro and stuff. Yeah. So
that's cool.
I'm pretty excited. He's getting into like
Can't
you
wait to see
editing your
those.
like podcast. Like
Yeah.
he's going to edit his videos and stuff. So
Yeah.
I know. It's going to be fun.
Exciting. It'd be the same thing, only with looking at it instead of listening.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I get that totally. I find solace in it.
Yeah. He sure does.
Yeah.
There's times where I'm like, babe, this video kind of reminds me exactly of the video you just watched. He's like, nuh-uh, that kickflip. It's like that. It's just like, but it's like, because he can watch skateboard videos all day long. All day
Really?
long. Oh my gosh.
Do you have a type that you like to watch?
No.
I do.
You do?
Uh-huh.
What?
It is the one where they take the miserable, left behind, almost dead dog, and then they bring it back and they take care of it and foster it, and then somebody adopts it, and then it looks pretty again. Kills me. I can watch those all day.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
They have videos like that?
Oh my god.
Oh, I mean, I knew that. Yeah, they have
Once
videos.
you see one,
Yeah.
they start putting more in there. And there's more and more. Like rescue. Oh my god.
I think my heart would flutter too much to where a point where
can
I would
only
like
watch
be in my
about 3 a day.
throat.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
I get a little sad.
Yeah.
Like, I could tell by the picture on that I can't watch that one. But yeah, they're heartwarming.
Yeah, my heart can flutter so much a day, and it flutters a lot. Like yesterday, Heath watched Hallmark Christmas movies with me, and I'm like, it is my anniversary, and I want my heart to feel like when we first met.
Yeah.
I love you, but we don't feel that way anymore.
It happens over time.
It really does.
Yeah.
You're one of my favorite human beings, and we've worked on this in his relationship, but I don't get like and I need that,
to
right?
put on makeup. You're coming over.
Oh yeah, poor guy. I didn't even shave my pits yesterday.
But that's a European thing.
Yeah.
So,
No, I know it's true.
yeah.
He doesn't even pay attention to that shit. So.
All right, so that was your story of inspiration. Was just you're inspired by your family. You're inspired by things, just life in general. So you're just finding inspiration in anything.
Yeah.
So do you have anything to plug, or do you have anything, just last words that you want to say? And you can say anything you want.
Yeah. Well, it's funny because I feel, with interviews I've done, I'm like, it's the egolessness. It's the, like, surrounding yourself and understanding that other people don't feel the same way as you do. So understand that it's their ego and don't feed your monster, because it's your monster, and people forget that. Like, and just be okay and love and enjoy the fact that not everyone is exactly like you.
Yeah.
Because that's the beauty of being an individual. Like it was funny, my brother-in-law, I was talking to my niece and nephews, and we were talking about is it WAP song? The Cardi B song, the WAP.
Uh-huh,
yeah, and he does not like it, and he's completely.
I've never even heard it.
Well, it's a very catchy tune. I can understand why a parent does not want their teenager to listen to it. But I'm also I'm against censorship a little bit, because I feel, because I know me when I was a teenager.
The
my
more you
parents
keep it away, the more I wanted it.
Dude, I was a hellion because of that. So, but he said something, and I was just like, she's special. And he's like, yeah, so is the person next to her. And so that doesn't make her special. And I go, no, that's not true. That's not what that means at all. It means we're individuals, and it's okay. And she is special, being exactly who she is, and honoring that person. So you telling her she's not special because we're all human. Well, yeah, we are all human. We all are, we all have our thing.
Right.
But we're all individuals. So whatever.
Right. Because if we were all the same, we'd be boring as
It
hell.
would be boring. Fuck. I'd be
boring
so
as hell.
bored with people.
I would.
I don't want another me.
I would just kill myself.
Please don't do that.
if we all turned the same, I would. You wouldn't even know it.
Because then there'd be another you.
Right there.
Like, there you go. Like,
Bothering you.
crazy stepward wives like thing
Yeah.
where it's like we're all kind of programs and
Yeah.
yeah. So, yeah, no, really, she is special, motherfucker.
Oh, yeah.
She's just an individual with
She's
her
just
own
not
thoughts.
your type of guy. You
But
know
it's
what I
not
mean?
even that. I mean, it was just, he was just so worried about me. Like, one of my other brother-in-laws said to me one time, he's just like, man, I don't think my mom and my sister have ever like looked in the mirror and thought, man, I'm fucking beautiful. And he was like, I bet all of you Osier girls feel that way. And I'm like, fuck yeah, we do.
See, that's the difference. And a lot of times the men look at themselves in the mirror and they're like, man, I look good.
Mm-hmm.
You ever notice that about men?
Yeah.
But women are all like, and they might be looking totally awesome,
Mm-hmm.
but they're thinking of every flaw.
They're more afraid of what they're looking. That's why the
Yeah.
makeup is more like they put the makeup on and they hide behind a.
Yeah.
I have literally I do put makeup on, but it's usually when I'm going out, and
Right.
it's not for any other. I mean, I work in a
Right.
kitchen. Why am I going to put makeup on to
It'll
sweat
just-
it off?
Yeah,
like
it'll just come off.
no, I'm not going to. And I mean, even when I was in high school, since we talked about high
You're
school,
naturally beautiful.
I was
though.
never put makeup on. Like the girls would be in the bathroom putting their makeup on while I was sitting on the sink
Yeah.
talking to my girlfriends. I never was. But I guarantee you, I still looked in the mirror and thought, man, I'm fucking beautiful.
Yeah,
I just wish more people
That's
could feel that
awesome.
way.
that was instilled in you by your family,
Yeah.
by your dad, by your mom.
by my own mom.
Okay.
She's very proud of her children. She's very much like, oh my God, you're so beautiful. I just love you so much. I did such a good job with you.
That's awesome. Well,
So,
that's really cool.
yeah.
So, Kelly Rae,
Yeah.
thanks for coming
Yeah.
and catching a pocket with me.
Yes, thank you.
And it was a pleasure having you. You can come anytime and
Mm-hmm.
just want to talk. We don't have to record ourselves. But I appreciate you.
Of
and
course.
Everyone else, go out and make a pledge to buy local restaurant to-go food during the pandemic so we can all survive this and then go on to eating together once again someday.
That's right. And that's how it's like, well, that's one of the reasons why I took away our diner, like our dinner time, is because please, visit other places that are more well known for their dinner locations and stuff like that. Like,
Right.
we're more of a lunch spot. I'd much rather make sure that
makes sense.
people like Piattos, people don't think about, I'm going to get a quick pizza for lunch.
Yeah.
They don't think about that.
Right.
They think about quick pizzas for dinner.
Yeah.
So go support my neighbor. Go support, like it's just like how donuts are breakfast. I mean, like we're a lunch spot. So that's why I took away my dinner experience. So
That makes sense.
I'm just like, I
Total
don't need it.
sense.
I want it to go out towards the masses and into our community. So
Well, if you get a chance, call in. Tanya's Soup Kitchen. Do you know your phone number by heart?
I do. Can you believe it?
Do it.
316-267-7687. So 267 soup.
Soup. Okay. So thanks for coming. I appreciate you.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate you, sister.
All right. Take care.
Yeah, bye.
All right. Thank you, Kelly Rae, and thank you for coming on the show and letting us get to know you a little better. Thanks for sharing Kelly with us, team at TSK. Shout outs to you guys for doing such a hard job during such a hard time. And get out there and support Wichita businesses, small businesses especially need your help right now during these hard times of COVID. I'd like to also thank Kirk Runstrom for the music and Lisa for allowing me to use it. The Catch a Pocket podcast team, of course, helping me go further and further with this podcast. And that's Phil and Fletcher over here in Park City, Kansas. and Wichitans supporting one another, wearing your masks, being socially distant, even though it's tough during the holidays. And, I really like to thank you guys for taking the time to give this podcast a listen. And I hope you guys have Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays. And I hope you guys catch a pocket you can be proud of. See you next time.